In this video, I'm going to break down every little detail that goes into running an e-commerce store, both successfully and unsuccessfully. And we're also going to talk about how you should expect to spend your time running a dropshipping store. Hey, what's going on? My name is George and welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to build a successful e-commerce business, then start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. Alright, so what are you going to have to do on a day-to-day basis to run a Shopify dropshipping store? So I want you to think about running a dropshipping store in two different phases. The first phase is when you set up your store, when you set up your social media accounts, when you write the product descriptions. Basically, this is the first part when you're setting everything up, and this takes quite a lot of time and energy, especially if you're new to this and you haven't done this many times. Now, the second stage is when you are actually running your store, you're running the ads, and you're into day-to-day kind of live store tasks. Now, this stage doesn't require as much time as the first one because everything is set up, everything is automated and running pretty much on autopilot. Your tasks on the second stage are going to be very different. And so what are some of the tasks that you're going to be doing in your second stage? Now, depending on what kind of products you're going to be drop shipping is going to determine what are the tasks you're going to be doing. But here are a couple of tasks that are unique to pretty much every dropshipping business. Number one, order fulfillment. Number two, customer support. And number three, managing your ads and making sure that you are profitable. So let's talk about each strategy a little bit more in depth, and I also want to share with you my favorite dropshipping strategy of what I like to sell and how my day-to-day tasks look like. So you understand now that there are two different stages, but this is all kind of vague, and I want to put it a little bit more into practice and break down what goes into the first stage and the second stage on a real case study. So I recently sold a store called turnswifty.com, and this is something that I really like doing, and that is really just creating custom portraits for people. And you can do this with pretty much any theme. You know, we were doing this with Rick and Morty, but you can do it with any other cartoon theme, or you can do it with something a little bit more neutral. And so, you know, that's up to you. But I think that overall concept is great because your profit margins are great. You know, people are really happy when they receive their illustrations. And, you know, there are many other reasons why this drop shipping of custom illustrations is such a great idea. Anyway, let's take turnswifty.com as a case study and let's break down into these two stages, the setting up stage and then the actual day-to-day running stage. So the tasks in the first stage for turnswifty.com are going to look something like this. So the first thing you need to do is you need to sign up to different systems such as Google, Shopify, Instagram, and Facebook, because that's going to be your core. Once you sign up, the second thing is to actually start customizing your theme in Shopify. I'm not going to go into depth on which kind of theme you want to choose, but no matter which theme you choose, you will need to do some adjusting, changing the logo, the colors, and other little details inside of the theme customization. The second thing you will need to do is you will need to set up the appropriate pages for your website as well as navigation. So the pages I'm talking about are the legal pages, which you can set up in your settings, as well as the frequently asked questions, reviews, contact us, and then a main button to redirect your customers to the actual product page. The third thing that you would need to do is you would need to create the product. Now with turnswifty.com, the way we did it is that we offered our customers digital product only. So we made it very clear to our customers that they are not going to receive any physical products. Instead, they're only buying a digital product. So they're buying the art, the actual customization, the actual drawing from the photo to the end illustration. Now, when you're creating the product page, the two most important things are the product images and the product descriptions, as well as variants and pricing. With the TurnSwifty example, it was a little bit more complicated on the variant side because we were offering different backgrounds, we were offering different number of people and different pricing, so there was a little structure that we needed to put in order to calculate how much what's the pricing for each variant, and add all of that together. The fourth thing that you need to do is you need to set up the systems that are going to enable you to rank organically in Google search, set up your social media account so you can run paid advertising, as well as just integrate and connect everything together. Because the website is just one thing, but then you need to connect to all the other external sources that are going to enable you to drive traffic to your website. The fifth and the last step is to actually create your first creatives. So when I say creatives, I mean ads. So what I recommend you do is create 3 advertisements from the start and test them against each other and see which one performs best. Because very often, and I actually learned this from my experience, is that you are going to think that ad number 1 is definitely going to perform better than any other ad. And then the data shows that it's actually ad number 2 that is performing the best. So that's why it's so important to test different creatives and see what works and what doesn't. And this, in a nutshell, is the first stage of running a Shopify dropshipping store. It takes a little bit of time and energy, but the good thing is that once you set everything up, you don't need to do it again. All right, the second stage of running a successful dropshipping store is going to be the day-to-day task that you need to do in order to keep the business moving, to keep making money. So, once again, we refer back to turnswifty.com as a case study, and let's break down what are the day-to-day tasks that you need to do in order to keep the business moving. Number 1, you need to reply to customer support emails. People are going to be messaging you, asking you like, hey, I forgot this, can I change that? I would like to add this to my illustration. So all you need to do is just make sure that the artist who is going to be drawing that illustration receives the customer comments. Now, if you're just starting out and you have a little bit of time and you don't want to spend money on hiring a customer support agent, then you can do this yourself. It doesn't take that much time, especially if you're not doing too much volume. Once you start scaling and once your business allows you to outsource customer support, then definitely that's the first thing that you want to do. But when you're first starting out and you don't have that much money, then this is something that you're going to have to do yourself. The second thing that you are going to need to do on a day-to-day to run a Shopify dropshipping store successfully is fulfilling your orders. And when I mean fulfilling orders in this case study is actually sending the customer their illustration. So once an artist creates the illustration, you then want to take that illustration, take the customer email and send it to him and say like, hey, listen, here's your illustration. I hope you like it. If you want any changes to be made, then make sure to reply to this email. The third thing is that you will need to help your artist to solve the problems and issues that come along the way. So when people submit their orders with you, they're going to make mistakes. They're not going to upload all of the photos that they intend. They're not going to write the description properly. So artists are going to have questions, you know, hey, I don't have the reference photo, like, oh, hey, I don't understand this. So what you need to do is you need to address those issues every single day that come up. Because if you're not going to address them, the artist is not going to be able to draw it and the whole process is going to stop. So you need to make sure that your artists understand everything and they are creating the illustrations without any problems. And finally, number 4, this is the most exciting part of the day-to-day, and that is actually managing your advertising. What you want to do on a day-to-day basis is you want to check your Facebook and Google ads. And when I mean check, what you want to do is you want to see the performance for yesterday, for the past 3 days, for the past 7 days, as well as for today. And then you need to decide, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to increase the budget? Do I want to decrease the budget? Do I want to duplicate an ad set? Do I want to test new creatives? And this is very important because marketing and advertising is the blood of your business. If you don't have people coming to your website is not going to be seen, you're not going to have any sales, and there is no growth. So you need to make sure that you take advertising seriously. You need to test new creatives every single day. Focus on that obsessively. See what's working, what's not working. Spy on your competitors. Try different things. Try user-generated content. Try carousels. Try videos. Try single images and see what works and what doesn't. Then you see which kind of format works. Try different elements. Okay, what's working well? Is it people's faces? Is it emotions? Or is it just objects without people? Because different niches are going to have different things that work for it. For example, in the customization niche, in this custom portrait niche, what works really well is a UGC, or in other words, a user-generated content. If you check turnedyellow.com, for example, they have videos of people opening up the packages and expressing emotions on their faces. And these videos are not professional. They're recorded on a phone. They're very amateurish, and that is the key to it. All right, so this was a quick little overview of what you should expect to spend your time on a day-to-day basis running a successful Shopify dropshipping store. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, make sure to drop me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And on this note, I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.